Morning, everybody. It's Crypto Grandfather here. You start out the live letting everybody know I'm not a financial advisor. I didn't go to school to learn finance or anything like that. I learned how to trade crypto and stuff on my own. I taught myself how to read charts by watching YouTube videos, etc., watching other creators. And I know I haven't done a live in a while, but it's because I've been doing a bunch of research. And I found out something a couple of days ago that I felt like you guys are going to be very interested in. So Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle. Okay, and all the altcoins, including Dogecoin, SHIB, Pepecoin, all of them, will fluctuate up and down according to that cycle. But what I found out, and what's really interesting, is all of the cryptos have their own cycle. And I was not aware of that until now. So even though Bitcoin looks like it's going into a bear market right now, even though it looks like it's gone to its peak, and it probably has, I'm not going to say it hasn't, and it's going down. Okay, Dogecoin went down also. Started going down way before Bitcoin did. And so I've done a bunch of research with AI online. And one of the things that I found out is that Dogecoin has its own cycle. Okay. And it takes a long time for Dogecoin to go through its cycle. This last cycle that it went through, okay, from 2018 to 2021, took 3.5 years. And it looks like this cycle is going to take more like 6.5 or 5.5 to 6.5 years. And Dogecoin is also not tied to the Bitcoin halvings. Okay, and right now, well, let me go through this. Let me back up. So I did a lot of research with the AI. Okay, so usually you have a bottom, right? You got the top, which was in 2021. The bottom was in 2022, okay, a year later. And then after that, you have a fake out rally. Okay, we've already had our fake out rally. That's what happened in November, December last year. Okay, and then you have a secondary little spike. Okay, which we've already had that. Okay, so if we look, we had our top here. Okay, this is the fake out rally. Way over here was the bottom. Okay, had a spike. Fake out rally. Secondary spike. And right now we're kind of bleeding out, okay, which they call a slow bleed. And then after that, we're going to have a final flush. Now, when that happens, guys, we're looking at probably going down to 5 cents. Okay, I was thinking that we were done with our cycle, because Bitcoin, I thought we were following Bitcoin's cycle. So I thought that we were already done with our bull run, and we're not. We haven't even started it yet. And according to the AI, our bull run cycle is going to take a while before it shows up, about the middle of 2026. Right now, we're in the slow bleed phase. Okay, there's 7 phases. You have the fake out rally. Okay, we had that. It's right here. Then you have a secondary spike, which is right here. Then you have a slow bleed, and that's where we're at now. We're in the slow bleed phase. Okay. After that, we're going to have an accumulation, bull run, and then the mania phase of it, where it really, really rocks. Anyway, this cycle is going to be a little different from the last cycle, and it's going to take longer because it's stretched out, because the market's bigger and the liquidity cycles are slower. Let me go back on my AI and see if I can. Let's see. Yeah, when I first got into this with AI, I was really, really confused, and I had to ask a lot of questions to finally get the AI to tell me what I wanted to know. Okay. So the last cycle, Dogecoin peaked in 2018 at 0.018 cents. Okay, the current cycle's peak was 73 cents. So we're not even the 2021 bull run. We're not even to the bottom of that bull run yet. I mean, I know we hit 0.0445 cents back in 2022, but we're not to the end of that cycle yet. We're still in it. Let me see if I can make this more clear for you guys. So I'm going to delete this line. I'm going to delete this line. I'm going to make all this bigger. So let me get out of this trade. So I just have a nice clear screen here. Okay, so I'm going to draw this line from up here. Okay, I'm going to draw another line from there over. Okay, so this is on a weekly time frame. And this is where we stand at this point. Okay, we're right here. We have not even, okay, got this descending triangle. We're not anywhere close to the end of this cycle yet. Okay, so the second stage is the first crash. Okay, and that happened from May 21st. Okay, because we hit a top in May, right? In 2021. That took a whole year. June 2022, we dropped 90% in 1 year. Okay, and the bottom was 0.049 cents. Okay, so like I said, we're still in this cycle of a downtrend from the last high. And we're not looking to get out of this cycle for a while. Okay, we had our fake out rally, which is the third stage of the cycle. There's 7 steps. What happened to my chart? Anyway, there's 7 steps to this. Right now we passed stage 3 and we're in stage 4. Well, there's actually another stage. There's stage 3B, which is a secondary spike. So we hit the 48 cents. Okay, we came down and we spiked back up to like 42 cents right here. Okay, it's a secondary spike, and then we've been kind of bleeding out ever since. Okay, right now we're in the slow bleed phase. It started January of 2025, all the way up until now. And it's in an identical structure compared to the last cycle. Okay, we're almost at a whole year of going down. Okay, we're at 11 months right now. The last cycle when we got to this stage, it lasted from April of 2019 to March of 2020 for 11 months, and so far we're at 11 months. Okay. And right now we're waiting for stage 4B, which is a final flush. So we're going to go down some more. I would say we're going to end up in the 8 or 9 cent range. And then once that happens, okay, then we go into the accumulation base phase. And that usually takes several months too. We're not looking at accumulation base until around August of 2026. Okay, and that's going to last. The accumulation base will last from around August 2026 all the way to February of 2027. It's going to be flat. It's going to be boring. It's just going to trade sideways. It's where all the smart money is going to load up. And then when the bull run ignition starts, it's expected to start around February of 2027 and run all the way to June 2027. So it's going to be about 4 months. And then the 7th stage is going to go from June 2027 to December of 2027. So you're going to have a parabolic mania for the last 6 months of 2027. It's where Dogecoin is just going to take off vertical. So it looks to me like February of 2027 to June, which is what, about 5 months, 4 months? March, April, May, June. Yeah, 4 months. We're going to break out from the accumulation and slowly start going up for 4 months. And then the last 6 months of 2027, it's just going to go parabolic again. So right now we are deep in stage 4, the slow bleed. Exactly where we should be before the final flush. So the final flush is coming. It's going to come pretty soon. Now this is just for Dogecoin. I'm having a feeling that all the cryptos are going to have their own cycle. You can get AI to help you figure it out. You're not going to be able to do that on a new coin. You're going to have to pick coins that are have been around for a while, so that there's some historical data for the AI to try to interpret. Welcome to the live, everybody. These timelines are bogus. I don't know why you say that. I mean, Bitcoin's been running the same 4-year cycle forever. And Dogecoin's gone through 2 other cycles so far, and this is going to be the 3rd cycle coming up. Anyway, this is my AI. We are deep into stage 4, the slow bleed, exactly where we should be for the final flush. So how long does this cycle take? That's what I asked him. A full Dogecoin cycle takes 5.5 to 6.5 years, not 4 years like Bitcoin. So the last cycle took 3.5 years. This cycle, because there's more liquidity and the market is taking a little longer, they're predicting 5.5 to 6.5 years for this cycle to completely finish. Not expecting that slow bleed out to finish and do the final flush until 2026. And then final flush through accumulation is going to take 6 months. Okay, and then accumulation to the bull run is going to be expected in 2027, and it's supposed to last 4 to 6 months. Total cycle length, 6 years. This cycle is almost twice as long as the last one because there's a lot of liquidity that's slowed down. Retail participation has shrunk. Meme hype has cooled off. Doge is a larger asset now. Macro tightening lasted longer. Non-Elon catalyst this time. Doge is simply taking longer to reset. I don't know why my AI does that. It just shuts down on me. Hey, Zeta was great for me yesterday as a short-term trader. Well, that's good. Anyway, that's what I found out. We're not done with this cycle. We had a cycle top in 2021, and we're not done with that yet. So Dogecoin is going to more than likely bleed out to, anywhere from 5 cents to 8, 9 cents. Nobody can tell you where the bottom is going to be, but let's see, I want to do a Fibonacci from here up. Get that as perfect as I can. See, I need to turn on some different levels here. Let me see here. I think I've got all the levels on I can. I need to make a 90% level. Okay, so I put a 90% level on here. Last bull run went down 90%. 90% is 0.07. So let me stretch this out over here. So basically from here on out, we're just going to go sideways, and then we're going to bleed out to our rock bottom. And then after that, we're going to go accumulation. for about 6 months. So yeah, Dogecoin's just gonna kind of slowly bleed out over time and then go through a 6 month accumulation phase before we go parabolic again. Well, so every time Dogecoin has gone parabolic, it's lost a couple of zeros. Okay, so if we talk in terms of a higher high than the last bull run, which was 73 cents, if we lose two zeros or just say 1 0, we're looking at a a a Dogecoin that goes up to the $10 range. Let's ask the AI. I'm going to ask it. So, what is the So I'm going to ask it right now. So what is the estimated top next cycle given past historical data? Okay, Dogecoin was at an all-time high of 74 in 2021. That's our anchor point. From there, we can project the next cycle top using Dogecoin's historical multiplier behavior. Let's break it down. Okay. Dogecoin has a very consistent pattern. The last cycle, 2018 to 2021, the bottom was 0.0010. The top was 0.74. So this proves what I told you a little while ago is true. We lost two zeros. Okay, the top was 0.74. That was a 740x. Okay, so our bottom was 0.049. I'm going to say we're probably going to be in the dollar to $9 range. The fake out top was 48 cents. That's a 10x from the bottom. That is not the real cycle top, just the fake out. So Dogecoin's next cycle top depends on the final flush bottom. Based on your Doge USDT structure, the final flush is expected around 0.05 to 0.03 cents. Dude, I hope it goes down to 0.03 cents because I'm going to throw probably $4,000 or $5,000 into there and then wait for that thing to cycle top in a matter of a year. Okay, this 0.05 to 0.03, that range, that's historical 90% drawdown behavior. So let's use this range to project the next top. Dogecoin's typical mania phase multipliers. Historically, Dogecoin does 100x from the accumulation base which is conservative. 200x in strong cycles, and 3 to 500x in mania cycles like 2021. Okay. Given Dogecoin is now a larger asset, the next cycle is likely 80x to 150x from the final flush bottom. This is a realistic range. So you're looking at, if it goes down to 3 cents, to be conservative, you're looking at $2.40. Okay. Moderate, which is 120x, $3.06. That's why I told everybody probably close to a year ago now that I felt we were going to be between $3 and $5. Okay, the 120x on 3 cents is $3.60. And if it's aggressive, if it's a parabolic top, 150x plus, you're looking at $4.50 a Dogecoin. This is not going to happen now. This is going to be, the whole year of 2027. So we've got a whole year. You guys have a whole year right now to start saving your money and waiting for Dogecoin to bottom out for this last time. Okay. I would just wait. I would just hang on to your money and just wait. That's what I'm planning on doing. See, I think everybody's misconception with Dogecoin was that we all thought that Dogecoin would cycle right along with Bitcoin. And it does to an extent, but it has its own cycle. And to me, it makes sense because what Dogecoin did this cycle with compared to Bitcoin didn't make any sense to me at all. And then you had some other coins that they did better. That ought to be proof in the pudding right there that every crypto has its own cycle, because you had some coins that did better than Bitcoin. Thank you for the follows, guys. So here I was. Now my patience is renewed because I was really, really frustrated with this cycle. It really pissed me off that we only went to 48 cents. And I knew with just looking at the data that was presented to me that we should have done way better than that, right? So I'm glad that I delved into this with this AI and did the research. That's why I tell you, you guys can do it with your own. You guys have a favorite coin? Take your AI. I have Copilot on my computer. I use my Copilot, and you just need to ask the right questions. Get it to tell you what the last cycle looked like. This is not going to work. AI is not going to work on a new coin. It's got to be something that's been around for a while. A coin that's seen a couple of cycles. It's been around for 5 years or longer. Okay, Dogecoin already has 2 cycles under its belt. We're in its 3rd cycle. And I don't know how many cycles Bitcoin's been through, but I think Bitcoin started 2000, right? So it's probably been through 4 or 5 cycles already. So yeah, I mean, you guys need to, if you guys have a favorite coin, like Ethereum, you could probably use this on Ethereum. Go into Copilot and say, hey, does Ethereum have a cycle that it follows, a bottom and a parabolic top cycle that it follows, and the AI will bring it all out to you. Things faster at thinking about stuff than you are. I mean, I'm sure there's a wealth of information online that we don't even know about that it can access. Why is only crypto down? Well, I don't know. I mean, all of crypto goes through its own cycles. Right now, Bitcoin's going down. So now, like I said, Dogecoin and all the coins are still following. When Bitcoin has a pump to the upside, they all still follow because that's just the hype. That's hype. Everybody sees Bitcoin going up. They know that people are going to invest in the other cryptos too, so that everybody throws a little money in there. So everything still spikes right along with Bitcoin, but everything has its own cycle. Here, let me get my AI here. Let's ask it. Let's ask it about Ethereum. Does um, does Ethereum have its own top and bottom cycle pattern as well? Absolutely. And this is a sharp question because Ethereum does have its own cycle pattern, and it's not identical to Bitcoin's or Dogecoin's. The search results confirm that Ethereum has distinct repeated tops and bottom behaviors across its past cycles. Let me break it down cleanly and in a way that fits your cycle pattern mindset. Ethereum has a massive ecosystem, has strong on-chain fundamentals, predictable liquidity flows. It has a semi-halving like supply model because it has the burning mechanism built into it now. Ethereum cycle is not identical to Bitcoin's 4-year halving cycle. It has its own rhythm. Let's map it out. The first cycle confirmed by Ethereum Ethereum's last 2 full cycles confirmed by data. Cycle 1 was 2016 to 2018. The next cycle was 2018 to 2021. So it looks like right now Ethereum has a 2-year cycle. Well, that doesn't make sense. It should have had another cycle, right? If it's 2 years, another one at 2023 and then another one at 2025. Okay, so now I'm going to ask it, where are we at in Ethereum's current cycle? Ethereum, it is in the middle of its expansion phase, transitioning out of accumulation and into a new growth leg. Here's the evidence. Ethereum is still inside a long-term rising channel. Okay. Research results show Ethereum has been respecting a rising parallel channel since the 2022 lows. This means higher highs and higher lows. Pullbacks are corrective. The macro trend is still up. This is classic mid-cycle expansion, not a top. Ethereum has formed a multi-year rounded base. Ethereum has built a rounded base since 2021 peak. Ethereum is stabilizing around 3,000 instead of breaking down. Ethereum is at a decision point, but long-term outlook is bullish. Ethereum's price predictions show continued upside into 2026. Welcome to my live, everybody. I'm Crypto Grandfather, and I need to jump in here and let you guys know I'm not a financial advisor. Okay. I just do my own research. I'm doing a little bit of research now with you guys just to show you how to use AI. Dude, you guys can use AI to find out anything you want in this world. Ethereum is in stage 4 mid-cycle expansion. Not to be confused with Dogecoin stage 4, which is the slow bleed. Ethereum cycle structure is different. Ethereum cycle stages look like this. You have the bear market, accumulation, early expansion, mid-cycle expansion. We're here at this point right now. Then you have late cycle euphoria, which will begin from 2026 into 2027. Okay, stage 6, cycle top, 2027. And you'll have your bear market in 2028. So 2028 is when Bitcoin will start its new bull run, right? So it sounds to me like Ethereum might be a good coin for somebody to get into, because it's still going to expand and it's still going to go up for the next couple of years. And in 2028, I would pull all my profits out of Ethereum, maybe put them into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's going to begin it's going to start its next bull run. Okay, the halving for Bitcoin was in 2024. The Bitcoin halving is in 2028, and it starts its new bull run. So by the end of 2028, you'll be done, basically done. Maybe the first quarter of 2029, you'll be done with the Bitcoin's next bull run. And we can do this with every coin. What other coin that's been around for a long time? Let me look through my list here. Let's do Litecoin. Can you do the same for Litecoin? Litecoin's been around since 2011. It follows Bitcoin halvings closely. It has extremely consistent boom and bust behavior. Its tops and bottoms are well documented. Let's break this down using the data we retrieved. Man. Litecoin's last full cycle was 2018 to 2021. That's a 3-year cycle. Yeah, the cycle in 2021 peaked at $388. That's its all-time high. You guys can do this with any coin. Yeah, it closed out on me again. Yeah, this little run up right here, this was the Bitcoin halving, and then we settled back down at around 8 cents or so. Okay. Way over here, here's the all-time high. Okay, then we had a spike up, secondary spike, and it came back down low. This was the Bitcoin halving. I told you guys that we're going to have a low, and then when Bitcoin has its next halving, it'll do the same thing again for it. But anyway, right here, 2022 had a little spike. This is Bitcoin halving. Consolidated back down to 8 cents. Then we had a fake breakout. Okay. Spike back up to the upside. It never just goes straight down, guys. It always has, just like back here, you had a top, came way down, came back up again, went down, came back up again, and slowly bled out to a bottom. And right now we're in that same thing. So we're looking at a profit target of anywhere from $2 to $6 for Dogecoin's next bull run, which is going to happen. It's going to happen in 2017. Oh, what is that? No, I think I'm going to bring that. We've got a. And I copied everything that I got out of that AI into a document so I can look at it. Yeah, if you look at the stages we went through, we had a late bear bottoming happened in June of 2022. Okay, we went down to about 0.049 cents. Final part of the big crash from 2021, first stabilization at low levels. Okay, then you had early accumulation, mostly range bound, 0.05 cents to the 10 and 15 cent range, back and forth for a long time. Smart money and patient players slowly accumulating, no real retail hype. Market quietly transitions from boring accumulation into an uptrend. Volatility starts increasing. Okay, this is your pre-breakout build. Gradual higher lows, stronger push-ups. That was Q3 of 2024, October of 2024. Okay, this is all building up to the last spike up, which was 48 cents. Okay, then you had your fake out rally, climbs to 48 cents. And this is where everybody's like, oh man, this has to be our new bull run phase. Strong move up, retail wakes up, optimism spikes. We need to get this information out to everybody so that they know that all these cryptos have their own cycles. You can use your AI to find out what those cycles are. The key to being profitable is to know what you're dealing with. Every single crypto is its own little beast. And if you don't know what you're doing, then you're not going to make money. Like me, I thought we were the 48 cents was our bull run, and it's not. Now I know that I need to wait. I need to hold. I've been dollar cost averaging in while it's been going down, but little did I know that we're in 2025. Top's not going to happen till the end of 2026, 2027. Okay, so I'm going to save my money for this bleed out, and then I'm going to put it all in when it gets down to the 3 to 5 cent range. Yeah, the reason why I started checking into all this, because I'm telling you right now, Dogecoin's cycle with Bitcoin's didn't match up at all. So So I had to look into it. I had to check it out. I had to figure out what the hell is going on with Dogecoin. And now I know. Now I know that every single crypto has its own tops, own bottoms, has its own cycle, has its own things that you need to look out for. And as we go through this, as we go through each cycle, we're going to have more data to add to it, and it's going to become more accurate. Dude, I can't believe I haven't got any likes. How come nobody's tapping the screen? How come nobody's... You guys need to tap the screen. It lets the algorithm know that we have people in here watching. What's up, Albert? Thank you, Albert. That's great. Man, is my... I don't know why Journeyman's not in here. I let him know I was going to be doing a live today. Now maybe he's watching. He's just not in the live. Yeah, if you'll look on the 4-hour chart, I'm going to scrunch all this together so you can see it. But do you see, since we had this high over here, we've pretty much stayed below this midline for a long time. Okay, and ever since the 48 cents, we've been down here below. Yeah, we've come up here a couple of times, right? We've had our little spikes up, but we've been down here in the bottom of this more often than not. If you look, there was our big spike up to 48 cents. So this usually happens really quickly. Okay, and then it's gone. Let me see if I can go. Here's another spike up. That was 22 cents. Okay. Spike up and then it's gone. Look, spike up and then it's gone. We spend more time in the bottom than we do in the top because everything's bleeding out. And you'll notice, okay, here's the last all-time high. We actually had two big spikes to the upside, right? It's your parabolic. This is your parabolic move to the upside. Okay, and then after that, we spent almost all of our time, except for a few little spikes here and there, down below that midline. And it's that way after every spike. We got a spike. You have another little retracement back up, another smaller one, but most of the time we spend down underneath that midline on your IMACD. So right now everybody's waiting for us to go back above that midline for a spike up. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, yeah, we can. We're currently sitting around 12 cents. We could probably spike up to around 20 cents and then go back down again. But telling you, the research I did was a big eye-opener for me, and it makes perfect sense. That 48 cents was not, it was a fake out. I want to ask AI something. On Dogecoin, prior to the 2021 bull run, did Dogecoin have a fake out? Like this cycle? Absolutely. And this is one of the most important repeating behaviors in Dogecoin's entire history. Dogecoin had a clear fake out rally before 2021 bull run. Very similar in structure to the fake out we saw late 2024, early 2025. Here's the breakdown. Even though the search results don't directly mention the 2019 Dogecoin fakeout, they do confirm that Dogecoin is known for false breakouts and fake rallies in general. And historically, in 2019, a rally is well documented on charts and cycle analysis. Dogecoin pumped 2x in April of 2019. Price jumped from 0.002 to 0.0045 cents. Crypto Twitter called it the start of the bull run. Volume spiked, sentiment flipped bullish. Everyone thought the bull run had begun. This is exactly like the 2024 fakeout where Dogecoin ran to 48 cents and people thought the main phase was starting. Dogecoin then died for another year. Dogecoin bled out again for another 12 months. It retraced almost the entire move. It went back to the same boring accumulation range. Only after the final push, March 2020, crash did the real bull run begin. Dogecoin wicked to the 0.0010. That was the true bottom. From there, Dogecoin went sideways for months before exploding in late 2020. Okay, so I'm doing the research for you guys. You guys need to listen to what I'm telling you, because it makes perfect sense now. I couldn't figure out why Doge was not doing anything. Well, it's because it has its own cycle. It still fluctuates up and down with Bitcoin, but it has its own bull run cycle. All right, so you guys need to dude, I'm telling you, I'm going to start putting my money. This is what I'm talking about right here so you guys can see it. We're in the final flush. We're getting ready to do the final flush. So I trade on Robinhood. So I'm going to start putting all my money, taking my money out and putting it in my account on Dogecoin, and I'm gonna, every time I add the money in there, I'm gonna set a limit order to buy in at 4 cents, because they're saying that there might be a panic wick down into the 4 to 3 cent range. So I'm gonna, every time I have extra money coming out and going into a separate savings account, every time I get 100 or so put in there, I take it and transfer it to my Robinhood. Okay. And then I set a limit order to buy in where I think the bottom's going to be. Okay. And then when I get more money, I transfer it in Robinhood and add it to that limit order. I'll change it. I'll cancel that limit order or make a new limit order with the additional money added to it. That way, if there is a panic wick that goes, they're saying 5 cents, I'm going to set mine at 4. If there is a panic wick that goes to 4 cents and even if it just goes a little bit below into the 3 cent range, it will trigger it and buy it for me at that price. Okay, and then after that happens, we're going to have an accumulation phase, so I'm going to have to be very patient. Okay, that's going to take from August to February of 2027. September, October, November, December, January, February. That's a whole 6 months. It may be a little bit shorter. It may be a little bit longer. I'm just going to have to be patient. Okay. Once that phase comes through, then things are going to start going up. And we're going to be able to tell. And that's where I'm going to be buying and selling the dips. All the way from February of 27, maybe the beginning of a year of 2027, all the way to the end of 2027. Okay, you're going to be starting a bull run from February to June. And then you're going to have your parabolic move June to December. So this whole 9, 10, 11 month window, I'm going to be buying and selling the dips. So you guys can do what you want. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I'm telling you, this new information is very interesting to me, and I'm going to be following it really closely. And if I was you guys, I'd be starting to set money aside, put it in your account, set a limit order. I might not even do 4 cents. I might do a limit order for 5 cents. I mean, I'm still getting it at a rock bottom price, right? Even at 5 cents, just to be on the safe side. Maybe I'll put a big buy order in at 5 cents, and then I'll have another small order at 4 cents. Or maybe I'll do half and half. If it hits 5 cents and it doesn't go any farther down and then starts climbing up again, I'll just go ahead and buy in at that price. But that's my plans. I don't know what you guys are planning, but I hope this information has been helpful to you guys. But yeah, do your own research. Get your AI. I have found AI to be a very useful tool. It saves me hours and hours of trying to research stuff. If you ask the question appropriately with AI, it'll give you the answers you need. At first, when I started talking to the AI about Dogecoin, I couldn't figure out what the hell it was talking about. And then I started thinking about it. And then I asked it, I said, okay, so is Dogecoin's cycle different from Bitcoin's? That is when I asked the right question. Because then AI told me, yes, Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle, Dogecoin has a completely different cycle from Bitcoin. That's when everything clicked in my mind. I was like, oh shit. I need to do more research into this and find out what this cycle looks like. Compare it to the last cycle, blah blah blah. So you guys you guys want to learn stuff? Use your AI. I mean, it's way better than trying to type something into the search bar on Yahoo. AI is fast. I mean, you saw how long it took me. I mean, I typed in what's the cycle for Litecoin, and it pulled it up within 30 seconds. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you for the follows. What's up, Justin? What's up, Underworld Bill? What's up, Lanza? What's up, Omar? See a lot of people joining. I'm not a financial advisor, guys, but I do my research, and I come on here, show you guys how to read charts. Like I said, this IMACD, we've been staying below this midline up here for a long time. And when I say midline, you see these oscillating columns, how they go up and they come down. This right here, in between the two, is what I call the midline. And if you look over here, it's at this 0.0000 line. Okay. When those columns are going down, you're going down. When the columns are getting shorter and then start going up, you're going up. So we've been down here below this midline. All this basically tells me is we're just bleeding out. You can obviously see, though, if I scrunch this all together a little bit here, I'll use my drawing tool here. You can obviously see right here, though, that we've got kind of a channel going up. It's forming a wedge, right? Going up, comes down a little bit, and then it goes back up. But if you look at that compared to our price, let me delete that. Yeah, it has these little spikes up and stuff, but it doesn't really. We've been bleeding out because we're down below that midline. If this white line gets above the midline, okay, and then it starts fluctuating up and down with the yellow line going in an upward direction, that's when we have huge parabolic moves to the upside. Especially when you compare it with your stochastic. So we're sitting at 12 cents right now. We're looking for Dogecoin to go down to 5 or 6 cents, maybe as low as 4 cents. Maybe even down to 3 cents. We don't know where the bottom's going to be. So if we take usually 90 to 95%, if we take 0.74 cents and subtract 90%, that takes us down to 0.074 cents. But we know in the capitulation of Dogecoin since 74 cents, it has wicked down to 0.049 cents. So we're sitting at 12 cents now. We're still looking for another move to the downside, and it's going to be a big one. And we're looking at 4 to 5 cents. And that's kind of a conservative. 5 cents is conservative. If it's a big wick down to the downside, we're looking at 3 to 4 cents. So you guys can do what you want. Once you get some money saved up, you can put some, you can ladder buy in down. You can put, 1,000 at 0.05 cents, 1,000 at 0.04 cents, another 1,000 at 0.03 cents, and hope that it triggers all of them. If it doesn't trigger all of them, whenever it starts going up, you can always just cancel those orders and buy in at the current price. But I'm going to put some ladder buys in for cheaper coins. I mean, for $1,000, you can get $1,000. Oh, shoot. Meant to hit my calculator and I hit TikTok instead. If you got $1,000 and divide that 0.05 cents, you can get 20,000 coins. And if you have 20,000 coins and it goes up to $2 a coin, you're looking at turning that $1,000 into $40,000. Right? 40,000. Now, if you put $1,000 divided by 0.03 cents, if it goes down to 3 cents, you can get 33,000 coins, and then times that times 2. Oh, what did I do? 1,000 divided by 0.03. Okay, and then times it times $2. Yeah, $66,000. And you can guarantee I'm probably gonna, while this is bleeding out over the next 6 months or so, I am going to probably do 1,000 at each level. I'm going to put 1,000 at 5 cents, 1,000 at 4 cents, and $1,000 at 3 cents. Now I'm just going to let them sit there and wait for this all to play out. And then once I sell at the end of 2027, then I'm going to start getting ready for Bitcoin to go parabolic. Or I may do research on some other coins to see where they're at. Now let's ask the AI. And ask the AI, are any Okay, so I'm going to ask you, are there any cryptos that may go bull run in 28 besides Bitcoin and are still in the top 100? Okay, so I can transfer my profits from Dogecoin into Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Polkadot, BNB, Aave, BitSensor, which is Tau, XRP, Chainlink, Avalanche, see, I'm going to copy this and I want to add it to my research notes here. Let me get down to the bottom of this. I'll go copy and paste it here. This is how I do my research, people. I do my research and then I make my documents so that I can go back and reread them later. Reason why I pick top 100s because usually the top 100s they've already had previous bull cycles. Okay, and then I can pick any of these that I want if I'm interested in them and find out exactly where they're at in their cycle. I'm telling you right now, the AI is a perfect tool for doing research. And for anybody that's interested in Dogecoin, we're in a bleed out phase right now. And we haven't hit our bottom yet. They're predicting the bottom to be in somewhere between 3 and 5 cents. Okay. And then after that, we'll have accumulation for about 6 months, and then we'll start our Dogecoin bull run. Dogecoin's bull run is completely different from Bitcoin's bull run. Yeah, you can ask that AI to do anything you want, man. It'll research anything for you. Matter of fact, I think I'm just going to 550,000 Dogecoin right now, and I'm just going to let this ride, man. 550,000 Dogecoin short. And I'm just going to let it run and let it ride for the next several months because we're just bleeding out. Probably starting Monday we'll have probably another big jump to the downside. Probably going to go down to 11 or even 10 cents. And I think it's just going to keep bleeding out until we finally hit the bottom in about a year from now. Actually, it's going to be it's going to be a year from January. It would have been nice to take a short from 48 cents, right? All right, guys, I just wanted to come in and do a little live, kind of explain things to you, show you what's going on. Do your own research. Anyway, I think I'm going to shut down this live. I've been in here for a couple hours now. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good rest of your day. You guys have a good, happy new year.